Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Faiza binti Muhammad Nazri, matrix number 279035. We are from Group 8. We will present our case study about regulating broadband in Chile. In telecommunication, broadband is wide bandwidth data transmission which transport multiple signals at a wide range of frequencies and internet traffic types. It enables messages to be sent simultaneously and used in fast internet connections. The medium can be coaxial cable, optical fiber, wireless internet in example radio, twisted pair or satellite. The wider or broader the bandwidth of a channel, the greater the data carrying capacity given the same channel quality. In the context of internet access, the term broadband is used loosely to mean access that is always on and faster than the traditional dial-up access. Broadband is different from dial-up internet services because it provides a higher speed of data transmission and access to the highest quality internet services that require large amount of data transmission. Other than that, broadband access also constant because it does not block phone lines and there is no need to reconnect each time you need to use the internet. The technical regulator for the internet in Chile is the Ministry of Transportation and Telecommunication through the Undersecretariat of Telecommunication (SUBTEL). According to the International Telecommunication Union, 45% of the population in Chile had access to the internet in 2010. The two biggest operations in Chile is VTR and Movistar, formerly known as Telefónica Chile, with 80% of market share.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Doctor. My name is Dewi Masita Binti Zaini. We present about the problem statement 1 in the case study and provide some solution on it. The problem statement 1 is what are the factors that influence the user to get the broadband in Chile. The portion of the population that has access to the internet, which measured by the percentage of internet user in Chile, only show an average of 7.257. Refer to the analysis mentioned, this number actually is quite far away from the benchmark and fail to attain the level of success of other countries in the benchmark such as USA, Australia, Europe and South Korea. From this we can define that there is a problem regarding to the demand side of the broadband user in Chile. The first factor that influence the demand of broadband in Chile is the price of broadband itself. This figure shows the demand curve. From the theory of the demand, it tells that if the price of good is increased, the quantity of demand will be decreased. In this case, if the retail price of the broadband increased, the quantity demanded of broadband will be decreased. According to the survey that has been done by SUBTEL, almost 30%, which is 28.9% of the respondents that do not have internet at home claim that its excessive pricing is the reason for not having taken up a broadband connection. Moreover, the price of broadband in Chile also represents a huge share or proportion of household income, meaning the price elasticity of broadband demand was elastic. From the information on the case study also, it tells that the price elasticity for several types of broadband was greater than 2.5, which is considered elastic. So if we see from the figure, when the price elasticity of broadband demand was elastic, the slope will be flatter. It means that when the price of broadband is increased with the small rate, the decreasing on the quantity demand will be bigger. This also indicates the affordability of broadband among Chilean citizens was low, especially for those that come from the low-income family. As evident from this table, it indicates that the accessibility of the consumer based on the income. We can see that the lower income has a little percentage of subscriber, while the high income family have a high percentage of subscriber. To solve the demand issue, Chilean policymakers thought it highly desirable to reduce the broadband price that can increase the availability and penetration, since internet access was increasingly thought to be important to the country's economic growth. However, to increase the affordability of broadband, the government can include broadband as a USO. USO is stand for Universal Service Obligation. USO is a long-standing consumer protection that ensure everyone has access to landline, telephone and payphone regardless of where they live and work. Moreover, the Chilean policymaker also can offer a direct subsidies to the low-end segment of the market, such as giving a 5 years broadband development. It was aimed to provide telephone, internet and cable TV connectivity to all households in the countries, while providing subsidized tariff to the lower income households that have no access to such technology.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Azza binti Roslin. My metric number is 279994. Next, I will present about the problem statement 2, which is what is the effect of competition in natural monopoly. Internet distribution can consider a natural monopoly in the case of the broadband in child. The fixed line telecommunication service, the characteristic that make the industry become a natural monopoly is the economy of scale were thought to be the largest in the local lot and the last mile of wire cable or fiber connecting the office and the company switching facilities. Because of this, it will be wasteful to encourage competition by duplication of the local law. This is because the first firm in the market has got the economies of scale advantage. So, if any other firm were to enter later, they will not gonna have the economy of scale same as the first firm. Therefore, they leave the market, the infrastructure will be left and waste. However, if there is competition, there is not going to be the full exploitation of economies of scale. They would like, but there is going to be productivity and efficiency as long as natural monopoly is regulated. Firstly, we can see the revenue for a normal monopoly was labeled in the area 0, P, Z, and Q, and the cost in the area of 0, C, P, and Q. From here, the normal monopoly gets the supernormal profit. Because it is a natural monopoly, this is not considered good enough for the regulator as the price is really expensive and the quantity is very low. The regulator was regulating the natural monopolies in the allocated efficiency level, which is at Q1 at level of price P1. However, it does not give any profit but lose. Because of the nature of a natural monopoly that will not benefit if there was competition trying to increase competition by encouraging new entrants into the market, it will cause a potential loss of efficiency. So, the government wanted its incumbent to give competitors access to local load by disassembling local loads, shared access, bitstream access, and wholesale supply. However, to cover the loss faced by natural monopoly if there is competition, the government can subsidize as much as the loss and at least give them a normal profit.
Hi, my name is Nur Alisa, metric number 279170. I will continue with problem statement number 3. Problem statement 3 is, which strategy is the best to increase broadband market penetration and quality of services? Chile's government has two options of strategies they can choose to implement and regulate to increase the competition of broadband market. Their choice is between survey-based competition through open access or facility-based competition. Before choosing, I will explain what is survey-based competition through open access and the characteristic it has. And my friend will continue explaining about the facility-based competition. Survey-based competition through open access is where the government will require the incumbent or dominant firm to open their access to their network to the new entrant. Incumbent is referred to a firm that already established in the market, in this case the broadband market. By opening access to new entrant, it will encourage competition in the services provided because the new entrant will have a chance to enter the market that before this has been fully monopoly by the incumbent. There's a few characteristic of survey based. The first one is about its service quality and product differentiation. If government choose survey based and incumbent open their access to new entrants, the new entrant will have a limited control over product they offer to customer because the quality is depend on incumbent firm. If the incumbent have a strong network, so the service provided will be good. The limit of the control also depends on the type of access chosen by the government, which I will explain later about the four type of access. Next characteristic is from the for the investment. In this case, it was stated if government want to implement open access policy for broadband, investors might not want to invest in installing fiber in Chile because they fear that they will be forced to grant a right to their rival to access their network. So government must think whether is it worth it to risk their investment over open access. Next is government intervention. If survey-based competition through open access was regulated by government, government still needs to regulate the price and the quality because open access did not eliminate monopoly entirely. Number 4 is price setting. Price setting for survey-based competition will be very challenging. The price should be high enough to allow the fair payment to the network and to keep investment incentive. But it must be low enough to allow competition in the final market because if the price high and the new entrant could not afford to enter the market, so there will be not a competition in the final market. Other thing to know about this survey base is the networks provided by incumbent must be strong enough because when they open access to the new entrants, they probably have to carry high traffic due to the uncertain demands. Also, in certain situations, it will be unfair if the network provider or incumbent choose to compete with other entrants at retail level because they has control over the network, so they might increase the cost of their rival. Last but not least, it helps to ensure smooth coordination of the infrastructure and the service provider. I will now explain the four types of access that government can choose if they plan to regulate the service-based competition. The four types of access are unbundled local loop, shared access, bitstream access, and wholesale offering. The first one, if government choose unbundled local loop, the entrant will leases the right to use copper or fiber loops of the incumbent network. Means that they will have a control part of the network that they list, so they will have most control over services offered and can determine their own quality of services offered to customer. Next is shared access. New entrant in shared access will only get to list the right to use high frequency as part of the network, but not frequency for voice telephony. Means that they don't have full access to the network, like unbundled local loop. The flexibility for shared access is high, which because they still can control the high frequency and control their quality. The type 3 bitstream access, which the entrant have to pay the incumbent to transmit that data from their network to the entrant's equipment. The entrant will have less control over technical of the service. The last one is wholesale offering. Wholesale offering offer the least access to new entrant. It is because incumbent will only provide finished product and sell it to new entrant at wholesale trade rates. So this will make the entrant have no control over the products provided because they will only buy the finished product. So their choice is only to improve administrative marketing or customer service in order to compete at retail level. That's all from me. Now my friends will continue with the facility base.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day I wish to our lecturer. My name is Usaila binti Abdul Rahman. My matrix number 279320 and I'm from Group A. Today, I will present our problem statement 3 regarding comparison of the facilities-based competition. Facilities-based competition often used in the telecommunication industry to describe competition between providers of the same or similar services, but where the service is delivered by different or proprietary means or networks, also called infrastructure-based competition. The first characteristic is the service quality and product differentiation. FBC provides more flexibility in targeting consumers' needs and in setting up the incumbents and the entrants' own cost structure. Next is investment. Both incumbents and entrants under FBC tend to expand service capacity and facilities, thus accelerating market growth and service diffusion via continuous investment activities. The third characteristic is market growth. FBC is more effective in diffusion of services by promoting facility investment and competition among companies. In the early stage of service in particular, FBC is likely to induce companies to implement aggressive marketing and price competition for market preoccupation, which accelerate market growth. The fourth characteristic is the innovation. Broadband providers can enjoy flexibility and create innovation by having full control in setting service features provided by infrastructure investment. The fifth characteristic is the independence of incumbents network. Entrants have no limitation in the choice of price, service, and technologies, and can provide the most satisfying service mix to customer. The sixth characteristic is the government intervention. Platform competition requires less government intervention because the service offering is up to the decision of operators. And the last characteristic is the duplicative investment in infrastructure. It increases long-term efficiency due to less regulation and more service flexibility, and at the same time better serves consumer needs with differentiated products. Regarding the mobile market, the additional cost generated by duplication infrastructure does not appear to outweigh the benefits of facilities-based competition versus service-based competition through open access. For example, jobs have to be paid to investment, innovation which requires modification to infrastructure level, proper investment incentive, higher upward competitive pressure infrastructure cost. For this reason, and consider the small effect service competition in Europe, infrastructure competition seems to still occur the most relevant option for the mobile market, which can also be considered in case of regulating broadband in Chile.
In conclusion, Chile had faced the problems regarding the demand side of broadband user. This is occurred due to the price of entry-level broadband offered in Chile is relatively high compared to the country's income. So the solution is Chilean policymakers need to reduce the broadband price, provide telephone, internet and cable TV connectivity in the country, also providing subsidized tariff to the lower income household. Besides that, having a competition not always be good in natural monopoly, because if there is a competition, there is not going to be full exploitation of economy of scale. So in order to cover the losses that the natural monopoly face if having competition, the government can give a subsidy as much as the losers and at least give them a normal profit. Last but not least, Chile also has facing two regulatory options problem, which is service-based competition and facilities-based competition. In simpler words, Chile need to choose the facilities-based competition over service-based competition. The firms could build their networks without fear that they would be obligated to open them to competitors. Since the firm will not be relying on using the networks of others to deliver services, they would have a greater flexibility in pricing services and technologies.